Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. Yes, you're welcome to the 27th edition of Leadership Talk with Adegoke. I'm on tonight with my friend and my brother, uh, an amazing gentleman, Akin Folami, Akin Rimisi. And tonight we'll be speaking on leadership and execution. This topic, I've been looking forward to this topic because I find a lot of leaders are not able to execute. And even when they execute, they don't execute properly. So tonight, my guest is going to be unleashing great stuff. I already have one of my John Maxwell team colleagues all the way from Jos, Nigeria. His name is Odeyemi Olaiwole. You're welcome, sir. He says he's glad to be here. He's my accountability partner. So, you're welcome, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Okay.
It's a privilege.
Okay. Yeah. Can you tell us who is Akin Folami?
Yeah, thank you, Akin Folami Akrimisi. First of all, a trained accountant, and currently I work with DHL Express as the logistic manager. Before coming to the position of the logistic manager, I was formerly the service center manager for Lagos, Lagos Island, and also I've spent this should be my 16th year in DHL. I've been able to work even almost in majority of the departments in DHL. I started my career in DHL in the finance department, and also from the finance department, I've been able to. I moved to the HR department, learning and development. Then also had the opportunity of joining the operations department as the operations trainer. And I also had the opportunity of also managing the distribution channel for DHL Express within Nigeria, and distribution channel that cuts across all the states in Nigeria, and even to the interior part of Nigeria. So I've managed the operations before moving to the service center operations, and currently the logistics, which has to do with warehouse management. So that's what I currently occupy. My career with DHL has been a fantastic one. I've been the employee of the year for the Middle East and North Africa, and also the employee of the year for Sub-Saharan Africa. And I'm also a child of God by special grace, and because aside from being my career, I also have a career in line of ministry, and God has been helping me. So
amazing. Your profile is intimidating. I don't just know you as a DHL person, but we're also joint brothers on the ministerial platform. So I know your testimony, in and out of, both secular and also spiritual. But we're not talking spiritual tonight. We're looking at leadership and execution.
Yeah.
Leadership and execution. Tell us, how did you get into leadership?
Yeah, for me, I'll say I got into leadership even basically from the church. And I always believe when you start, especially from that platform, then, because starting from a youth president. I was a youth president. I know in that period, for you to be able to probably lead
Yes.
the youth, it's something that is probably, well, by the grace of God, not too difficult, but it's challenging. And that was where I started my leadership as the youth fellowship of a church. Then I was in Abeokuta. And then we had a total number, I think, of about 50 youths. And, you know, from there, I also was the president of the campus fellowship. So that was exactly where my leadership started. And, you know, it was very easy starting from the church because it's also helped me also in my career, taking leadership responsibility in my career, because you know, I was groomed from the church as a leader. I had mentors, fantastic pastors, who then, when they were taking me through that training, I was like, it was a harsh one, but in the long run, it was very, very beneficial, especially in helping me in the size of my career. And also, you know, when I also, as a leader of a youth church, you know, I think at about 96 or so, my dad died. And it was easy for me also to take the leadership role in the family. You know,
Wow.
I had brothers that I also, you know, leadership is about giving people direction.
Exactly.
So now I had to take that role in giving them direction as my siblings. And today I can say that paid out well because they are doing well. So I just imagine if I have not been trained, especially during those times in the leadership skill from the church, how it would have turned out. So, like I said, my leadership role started from the church. I entered into the leadership through the church.
Wow. Wow. Amazing. Can you hear me properly?
Yes, I can.
I hope there's no feedback.
No.
Okay. Now, what's the responsibility of a leader in the area of execution?
Now, you know, one of the major responsibility of a leader, you know, it's or a purpose. Let me just say, is to deliver results. You know, a leader, maybe you have a vision, and you need you need to lead people, to channel people towards the fulfillment of that vision or the fulfillment of the purpose. So now, delivering results doesn't come without proper execution. So execution is a discipline of getting things done.
Mm-hmm.
So as a leader, you can come up with, you know, fantastic strategy.
Okay.
You can come up with fantastic goals, fantastic ideas, and but without execution, such goals cannot come to fruition. So execution is about getting things done. So now, you know, as a leader, the gap between what you want to achieve,
okay,
or the ability of your follower, whoever you're leading or you are directing, to deliver what you want to achieve is execution. It's execution. So,
wow.
so it's execution. So now, for a leader, execution is a skill that you need to be successful in achieving your leadership vision and goal.
Wow.
So a leadership has a vision, a leadership has a goal, a leadership is leading and directing people to achieve something. But without execution, it will be very difficult.
Wow. Wow. Amazing. 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 I also have one of my John Maxwell team colleagues here on the platform, Mrs. Abiola Shoremekun. She's recently qualified, became certified as a coach, speaker, and trainer on the John Maxwell team. So, you know, my colleagues are here tonight to listen to you, sir. Leadership and execution. No doubt, like I said, you know, a lot of people speak leadership, leadership, but we see lack of execution in the area of leadership. Why do you think that is happening, particularly in the Nigerian space?
Okay, you see, I think majorly in the Nigerian space, when leaders are not being held accountable,
Yes.
Then there will be lack of execution. Because one thing about the Nigerian space is that you have leaders. Yes, we have leaders that comes with fantastic policies. They come with fantastic projects. They tell you what they want to do, which is on paper. But at the end of the day, to now put those things into action, to now bring them to friction is difficult. So now, most of the time, such leaders, they seems not to be accountable. There's no accountability. So nobody brings them to, nobody question them that you promised this, you promised to deliver this result, and you have not delivered it. So what is happening? So as long as there is no accountability, then I tell you it will be difficult to get things done, because execution, like I said, is basically getting things done, bringing whatever you have planned into life. So for such leaders, once they've planned things and nobody is asking them questions, then it's especially in a society like ours, it's very difficult for execution.
Awesome. So what are some of the ways a leader can improve, in the area of execution? What are some of the things that a leader can do?
Yeah. Now, first of all, to improve in the area of execution, because now a leader is not, as a leader, you have people that are probably, you have followers. You have people that you're going to use to achieve a purpose, to achieve a goal, or to execute, the goals, to execute the vision. So as a leader, you are not working alone. So the first step is to approach your team members in a positive way that will drive outcomes. It has to do with, first of all, your relationship with your team members. So I've discovered that enduring results, great execution comes when your people work with their hearts.
Wow.
When they are happy to work with you, when you approach them in a positive way, you are not approaching them as a boss, but you are approaching them as a partner in the fulfillment of your goal.
Wow.
So once that one, the first thing is to engage your people. There must be an
engage your people.
Engage
Amazing.
them.
Okay.
Engage them. So now, then also, you have to put an architecture of execution in place. Now, when we are talking about people also, you also have to look at the kind of people, you have to bring in your team. You have to look at the kind of people. What attitude do you expect from them?
Okay.
Now, also, I think what are the skills required? Somebody told me something, and I think he said, yes, you can have skillful team members.
Okay.
People who are very skillful, but what is very important is the attitude. That for you to probably achieve what you have planned, then you need people with the right attitude.
Wow.
Because
amazing.
know how you might meet a stumbling block, but people with the right attitude, with a can-do attitude, will still go ahead and move forward. But people with the wrong attitude might cause a stumbling block. Then aside from that, also, you also need to put in place toolkit for execution. And when I'm saying toolkit for execution, I mean you have to have a plan dashboard. In our own space, we call it a PD board. Now, what does that? Yes, a PD board, personal development board. or development board. So what that does is that it creates a visibility for your goal.
Okay.
Yeah, your goal is visible to the team. So it tells what to do to achieve the goal. The plans is visible to the team.
Okay.
Then there is also who should do what. The action items and who should do what. And also what should you consider as success or failure. How do we know that we are succeeding? How do we know that we are not meeting the mark?
Wow.
Execution is simply, execution is simply not tactics. It's not simply tactics, but a system of getting things done through questioning, analyzing, and also following through. So that's what the plan dashboard does.
Wow.
So it helps in questioning, analyzing, then also
PD.
Where are we?
You said it's a PD board. A PD board?
Yeah,
PD board.
We call it a PD board, personal development board.
Wow. Wow. So things must be clearly written out.
Clearly written out. You must show the goals to the team, let them know the goal, have an understanding of what to do to achieve the goal or to execute the goal. And there must be a measurement. Let us know when we are succeeding, and let us know also when we are off the mark.
Awesome.
Then another aspect is to establish a strong review meeting habit using this dashboard that I've talked about. Now, the dashboard is not there. It might be a weekly review because you have to review with your team. The team must know that regardless of what happens, or regardless of how busy, the review meeting must happen. They must be consistent with the review meeting. Awesome. There must be, So now, the review meeting, what it does is that now you review action items, what people need to do. You review action items, and when you review those action items, you work at resolving them.
Wow.
You work at resolving them. So any action items that is assigned during a review meeting, you record them on spot, and at the next meeting also, you review them and ask the team if it has been completed.
Wow.
So with this kind of thing also, it helps you to hold the team accountable to the details.
Okay.
To the details. Then also another aspect that we also need to look at is setting clear expectation and priorities. Because as a leader, you must hold people accountable, and unless they have clear picture of expectation and priority, they have a clear picture of success up front. Yeah. So another aspect also that also is putting in place a reward system.
All right.
Yeah, you have to put in place a reward system because you must always recognize strong execution. Always reward strong execution. Wow. And also at the same time, you shouldn't allow weak execution to go without an acknowledgement from you.
So you must point out weak execution.
You must point out weak execution.
What if you have a team member that, is does not take, criticisms positively?
Yeah, I think you see in that aspect, yes, we have. We will definitely have. That was why I started with. I started with the right kind of people with attitude.
Okay.
Now, these are things probably, and it's all about knowing your team members, knowing where you are going to. Now, if you have a team member that probably will definitely resist, there's a way we call it. We say, is it Dirac? That the person enters into deny. They deny stuff. That okay, this and this and this, and the person says no, I don't agree. So he enters into that. But one thing that is key with a leader is that you are not focusing on that weak. You are not focusing on the person, but you are focusing on the issues.
Okay.
So you focus on the issues that brought about the weak execution. Okay. And you are working with a person to chart a way forward. Most of the time, probably it's when we approach that, now you see, you've made us to fail. You did this, you do that, you did this, if it's all about you, then there's a tendency you get negative feedback. But when it is, yes, now, because of such and such and such that happened, we've not been able to meet up with our goal. And this is why I believe this was so. And this is what you should have done better. So we are focusing on the issues and we are focusing on the way forward.
Okay.
I don't know whether that one.
Yeah. I mean, you're quite clear. I mean, thank you for speaking. You talked about setting clear expectations, having a personal development board, looking at those things that we have achieved and those things that are outstanding, and making it, principle that those that are dropping the ball, you have to address them. You have to, you have to, not really confrontational, but you have to address them and let them know that these are the things that ought to be done. Now, what are the consequences of leadership not following through with execution?
Yeah, for the consequences, now we said execution is a discipline of getting things done. So now the main reasons leaders fall short of their promises to their followers is lack of execution skills. So, for example, in a civilized setting, once leaders fall short of their promises, they lose the opportunity to lead. Even if they probably bulldoze their way into leadership, they lose the respect of their followers. A leader who promises without the discipline of execution, that loses credibility. And will not be trusted by their followers to continue in leadership position. For example, leadership in business, the shareholders expect that some goals must be, they have a plan, they have a goal, they have a strategy, and those strategies must come to life. They must come to fruition for the business to succeed. So if the leader is not meeting up to that expectation and that promise, what happens most of the time is that they remove the leader. So for a leader not having execution skill, it is like losing the opportunity to lead. People will definitely lose hope in such leadership.
So leadership is about execution.
Yes, it's about getting, yes, you have ideas, you have goals, you have where you are leading us to, but you have to lead us there.
Wow. So how can the culture of execution, how can it be, put in place in an organization?
Now, I said something earlier. Also, first of all, there must be clear leadership expectation.
Okay.
And leadership must commit to these expectations. A clear expectations and leadership must commit to these expectations. I know that's why, for example, in leadership in organizations, you have a meeting with probably, let me say, maybe you're a manager, you have a meeting with your boss. Your boss tells you what he wants you to do, what you must achieve. He sets a clear expectation for you. And also there's a kind of signing to commit to such expectation. Now, also, you know, the culture accountability as a core discipline is also very, very key.
Okay.
Accountability ensures that every leader makes a clear commitment, and not only making commitment, but keeping them. So for organization, leadership must be held accountable for not keeping up their commitment. So as long as leaders are not held accountable for failure to keep their commitment, then there will be continuous eroding of the culture of execution. So, you know, accountability requires difficult things, which probably in our own society is lacking, like addressing mediocre leadership and unaccountable ones. Addressing them, that's leaders that are mediocre who are not meeting up to their commitment, addressing them. So when that is done, then I tell you, every other leader that comes and that knows their expectations and know that they have to meet up with such expectations.
Wow. So it's not just, you don't just pay lip service to execution. You must have some.
Yes. There must be a way for people to know that yes, you know, you have, this is what you have planned out, and this is what you are achieving. You are getting things done. So you know, we have a lot of leaders not getting things done, and they still remain in the position of leadership.
So what should be done in such instances? I mean, a situation where you have leaders that have been there for years and years and they don't execute.
Yeah, you know,
what's your advice?
Now is, like I said, they need to be addressed, and if they need to be removed, then well, in the first place, they need to be addressed. That okay, you are not meeting up to this expectation and everything. Even though we have some leaders that would definitely not want to hear you, they will bully their way through. But you see, now, like I said, in the civilized world, let me use that word. Allow me to use it. In the civilized world, you come in as a leader, you tell people that this is what you want to do, or this is what you want to do, this is what you are committed to doing, and people will start watching out for those things that you have promised. So at the end of your tenure as a leader, maybe if you are coming to ask them for another tenure, they look at what you've said you will do, and if you have met their expectation, and if not, then they will not give you the opportunity to lead them again.
So they will look at the precedent. I mean, your past, achievements, your record. They bring out your record and begin and point to those things that you have not been able to achieve or fulfill.
That you said you would do this, you were committed to do this, but at the end of the day, you didn't. You didn't achieve it. So.
Wow. Now, I mean, you are making it sound very easy. Have you ever had the situation where you had challenges with execution yourself? And what did you do? How did you do it? Yeah.
Okay. I think for me, you know, like in the industry that I am in, logistics industry, you have, you know, it's execution is something that is very key there. And because, you know, it's a kind of complex system. And if you don't have that execution skills, it's going to be very, very difficult. Now, especially, you know, like I said, I managed the distribution of packages nationwide. And there was a time that we had, I think that was the time they had to close the Abuja airport for some, I think maybe for some months or so. And, you know, we had planes going into Abuja on a daily basis to move in package. So we had to have a plan B, an alternative. And that means we have to move from the Abuja airport to Kaduna. Now, as at that time also, when the government were asking us to move to Kaduna, the Kaduna airport wasn't ready. But as a company, we have to meet up with the expectations of our customers. So even though then the airport wasn't ready, but we still went ahead with our plan. We still went ahead to, to putting up our plan. We didn't have to wait for the airport to be ready. So it was a challenging period because I had to be traveling to Kaduna. I know when you get to a place and they tell you that I think in the next few months or next few weeks, the airport in Abuja is going to be closed, and you are seeing what is on ground, that nothing has been put in place. And even as a business, there has to be continuity, or else you lose customers, or else you lose money. So getting there, it was actually very, very challenging. But then we had to, first of all, put things, and even the people there weren't even helping matters, because they were telling us, and that is another challenge that we have. They were telling us, wait until when the things are ready. Wait until when everything is in place. But for us, we know that what we did then, even though we had to put up a canopy as our warehouse. We had to look for an open space right in front of an office. We had to put up a warehouse there, a canopy warehouse where our people, the shipment will come. We had to go ahead. We'll tell that our aviation department that we are ready to go, that they should come to the airport and check the airport. As long as the plane can land on the runway, then we are ready to go. And, also, well, the bureaucracy, everything was there. But I tell you, in the long run, even though it was challenging, but at the same time, we were able to execute our plan. We were able to successfully go ahead with our operations. Even by the time the government were ready, we were already ready. We've done our test, we've done everything. You see, one thing about, there will be challenges. There will be lions on the streets. There will be challenges, but for leadership, you need, I always tell my people, you need, in the midst of the challenges, you need to have plan A, plan B, plan C, and if possible, have plan D. Now, if you execute plan A and you meet a stumbling block, then let us look at what we can do with our plan B. So, it comes, but for example, in an industry like ours, we have to, once you fail in execution, it's very, very disastrous because you have a lot of people depending on you.
So you have plan A, plan B, plan C, plan D.
You have to have, what I do in my team most of the time, when they come to me and say, Oga, we have this that we need to do. I say, okay, what do we have to do? What do you think we should do? They will tell me, okay, we have to do this. Okay, what if that do not work? What do you think we need to do again? So, one thing about leadership, especially if you want to develop your people, don't give them the answers.
Wow.
Allow them to come with the answers.
Don't give them the answers.
Yeah, allow them to provide the answers for you. So I tell them, what do you think we need to do? And they'll give me, okay, we need to do this, we need to do this. Okay, because they know that once they come to me, what I'm going to ask them is, what do you think we need to do? So you must always have alternative plans.
Wow. I mean, I love that. You saying that, your team members, you don't give them all the answers. You allow them to think outside the box.
Yeah.
Wow. And what has that done for your leadership?
Yeah, you see, it makes things easy in the sense that once you allow them to think, and when you are not there as a leader, there's a continuity.
Wow, amazing.
There's continuity because they know Because what I tell them is that, especially when I go on vacation, I go on leave, I tell them I'm not reachable. You cannot reach me. So it gives them the opportunity to think, by themselves. So it makes, because if if there's no culture of allowing your team to think for themselves, even when you are not available, that's what brings about burnout in leadership. You have to always be on the ground to do things. You have to always think for your people. You have to always make sure things are done. But yes, you allow room for, maybe mistakes, they might not, but that's where you come in as a leader. That, okay, you've done this, but this is what you're supposed to do. This is what you're supposed to do better. And you still, not that you take it completely away from them. You still allow them. So it makes you, as a leader, you are able to rest, you are able to relax, and you are able to focus on other things.
Wow. Amazing. Wow, we're learning so much tonight. I've been speaking with my good friend, Mr. Akin Folami. Is a logistics expert, and he's been talking on leadership and execution. And he's provided so many solutions tonight. He's spoken about how to pivot in the area of leadership, how to engage yourself. Even while you're not there, your people are working, and it's seamless. What I've learned tonight is that you have to make your people think. You have to allow them to think outside the box. Don't always give them the answers. Is correct, sir?
Yeah, don't always give them the answers. You have to allow them to think. You have to encourage them. Yeah. So because, leaders who execute often, they don't even have to tell people what to do.
Wow.
What they do is to ask questions so that their followers can figure out what needs to be done. So, by that, you encourage creative thinking, you encourage more innovative ideas. Yeah.
Wow. Can you repeat that again? Sorry, there was just a slight break in transmission.
Okay, I said, leaders who execute more often don't even tell people what to do. What they do is to ask questions so that their followers can figure out what they need to do. Now, that creates ownership for the followers. That creates a sense of ownership. You understand? It's not that, okay, the Oga or the boss asks us to do this. It creates a sense of ownership. It's like we own this process. So it creates a sense of ownership, and it encourages creative thinking. Like you said, it encourages thinking outside the box. It also encourages innovative ideas. That's a way to create an innovation and agile environment through execution. You allow people, okay, now we need to achieve this. We need to do this. What do you think we need to do?
Wow. Amazing. You shared so many nuggets tonight, sir. I just want to salute you. I'm so encouraged by, the nuggets that you shared with us in the area of leadership and execution. We're getting towards the closing stages of this session. No doubt that quite a number of people will be listening all over the world. They will also be watching the replay. And you talked about the consequences of not, following through in the area of execution. You talked about the leadership, talked about the personal development board, having that in place as a leader. You've also talked about, allowing your people to think, and one of the things you have also shared with us is that while you're on leave, you tell your people that they might not be able to reach you, which makes them creative. Yeah. So you empower your people. There's a session that I always take on leading empowered teams for service quality. And one of the challenges that we found is that leaders oftentimes they don't empower the people enough. So once they're not around, there's a leadership vacuum. But I want to salute you, sir, that you are walking the talk.
Yeah.
Now, who are mentors, sir? Who are your mentors? Because you are sounding so so perfect, almost near perfect. Who are your mentors?
Okay. For my mentors, I think first of all, in ministry I work with a man who I'm sure who you know very well.
Yeah.
And in terms of getting things, to perfect, to being perfect, getting things to perfection is somebody that is, he is somebody that in that area, when you are around him, you just have to make sure that things work and things go into perfection. He has done a lot, especially in mentoring me in the place of leadership. So that's Pastor Wale Oshinukwebi. And I also have my regional director. Well, he's no more a regional director now. He's a vice president of DHL Express in our global office. He used to be our regional director in Nigeria. And he's also one of my mentors. And one thing that I know, his name is Randy Bude, is that in terms of engaging your people, that was one thing that he has helped me with, in terms of engaging your people, in terms of, because one thing that Randy is that he believes that engaged people will produce the desired results you need. It will tell you that everything is not about knocking heads. That, well, for example, you can be knocking the head of someone, but there might be a challenge, a problem that that person has, that through engagement, you can discover that problem, and that can even help the person to begin to perform at optimal level.
Wow.
So, so that's one thing that he has mentored me to do, and I've been able to learn from him. And, I've used it in so many areas, and I think that it works. First of all, create a kind of engagement and an engaged atmosphere. Make your people excited. Let there be an excitement, not that you come, you squeeze your face and say, team, we need to achieve this. And if we don't achieve it, heads will roll. So, and that's one thing that I've been able to learn from him. That's Randy Bude. So those are basically my two. I have distance mentors too, but those are the ones that are probably most of the time, once in a while, I speak with them. And if there are things that I need to do or need to know more, I just have to go to them. And it has been a fantastic experience with them.
Wow, amazing. If you're just joining us tonight, I've been speaking with my friend and my brother. He's a logistics expert, Akin Folami, and we've been speaking on leadership and execution. He shared so many nuggets tonight. If you have questions or comments, if you want to appreciate the gentleman, we've been on for almost 40 minutes, and he's poured out his heart. Indeed, it's been an amazing night. We've had quite a number of people come on the platform. Odemi Olaiwale said, indeed, the heart is what determines the results of the hand. Also, Abiola Shomeremekun, a fellow John Maxwell coach, speaker, and trainer, says leadership without accountability results in non-execution. Leadership without accountability. Also, he shared with us that every leader must have a personal development board where you write down the things that you want to achieve and share those things with your teammates. He also shared with us that every leader must set clear expectations for the members of the team. Oftentimes we speak and we don't have clear expectations for members of our team. And so that leads to a disconnect. And what we also share tonight is that you must engage your team members. You said your one of your mentors taught you that that, when you give people assignments and they have personal problems, it could lead to disengagement. So you really need to know them, engage them, and it's like a partnership. So finally, tonight, I want you to share, in a minute or two, something that you want to leave us with, something that would cause a spark, because leadership and execution is very important. A lot of leaders, make promises, and there's always a disconnect. And lack of leadership is lack of execution. So please speak into that. A minute or two, just share with us. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I know. There was a question a question on some ways execution can boost economic growth.
Yes.
Now, I think I want to, consider whether you rather invest in an economy where the leaders come up with strong strategy, they come up with great plan, but no execution. They tell you they will do this, they tell you they have this plan and everything, and at the end of the day, there's no execution. Nothing gets done. They have great ideas, they have great strategy, they create great excitement in the air. They have Vision 2020 policy, 2030, everything. But at the end of the day, nothing is being achieved. So such an economy will not attract investors. So economy or business leader must be able to put up great plans, put up great strategy, and get things done to attract more development or growth. For example, how well a company is in the eye of security analysts is that it is showing progress towards meeting its goals. So they check, is this company making progress towards meeting its goals? When they analyze and check that it is a no, so what happens? They downgrade the company. And that downgrade can wipe out billions of dollars in market capitalization. And obviously such a company will not even receive further investment. So execution is very, very key. And, I think that takes, Singapore, for example, a very good example is Singapore. And I'm sure you know the story of Singapore very well. They are, Singapore leaped from a third world country to first in just 53 years. Because a leaders came up. He had plans, he had strategy, and they were able to execute all this. And today, leadership then, Singapore per capita GDP was just $400. But today is moving to the tune of the per capita GDP is up to $50. That is because they get things done.
Can you say that again? From $400 to what?
Now, it was the Singapore per capita GDP then was about $400 a year.
Yeah.
That's in 1965.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was, but today, Singapore has a per capita GDP of about $50,000.
Wow. Amazing.
Now, what happened there? Somebody came with an idea, brought the people, engaged the people, because they had to change their culture, their thinking. They had to engage the people. And he told them, okay, I have this goal. These are my goals. These are my vision. And they were able to execute it. And that is why they are where they are today. So if as a leader, you keep giving excuses on why you are not achieving your goals, then it's a problem.
Wow. This has been amazing. I mean, you really hit the nail on the head. A leader without, results in the area of execution is a leader that might not last for too long.
Or move his country into prosperity.
Wow. So your rating can be downgraded because of lack of execution.
Yeah.
as a nation, the nation, that's why you find some nations with AAA,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden, once they find out that there is no execution, they begin to downgrade them to B minus, B plus, B, C.
Yeah, minus B, yeah, because you have development goals. Are you really meeting up with those development goals, or they are just development goals on paper?
Wow. So what's your advice to those who might be on this platform? I mean, as we begin to end this discussion, what's your advice to one or two people that might also be listening to the replay?
Yeah, my advice is, even talking about execution here, it probably seems like something that is very simple. But I tell you, it is not something that is as simple as it is. So, yeah, you might meet a stumbling block. There might be some challenges and everything, but that doesn't stop you, because you must know that what you have promised is already a commitment. And people are looking forward to you at bringing, to you fulfilling those promises. So you shouldn't just abandon it or give up. You have to sit down, go and re-strategize. There's room for re-strategizing. There's room, and that's why that leadership board. Okay, what is the problem? Why do we have this problem? What should we do? What action should we take? So you have to go back, re-strategize, then you move on. But what is more important is that know that people are looking forward to you fulfilling those promises. So you shouldn't give up. What you need to do is to continue to re-strategize until you are able to execute what you have promised them.
Wow. Amazing. I've had so many, of my friends giving feedback. Mary Ellen Nadi from Abuja, another John Maxwell, a certified coach, speaker, and trainer, is, reinforcing what you said about Singapore per capita for $400 to $50,000. I also said that a leader without results might not move the country into prosperity. I'm trusting that all of us will have results even in 2021, because COVID came. Some people, even in the midst of COVID, they had a lot of fantastic results. Just like your company, which you said with me that it was one of the most profitable moments for your company.
Yes, it was.
You guys showed up powerfully, and you are still showing up powerfully in 2021. You are thinking outside the box. You're empowering your members. You're allowing them to do the thinking. You're engaging them. You're giving them the kind of leadership that is required. I'm trusting that even out of this session, for those who want to, still, connect with you, how can they reach you? I mean, privately.
Okay. I think what my email address. I think.
Give it to me so that I can type it in the chat box, because we don't want you to disappear into the thin air.
Okay.
Yeah. What's your email address, sir?
So I'm typing my email address now.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I'll just lift it up.
That's my email address, and also probably for my phone number, I'm also sharing my phone number too.
Okay.
It's my mobile number.
1 minute. Talk to. I think I might just have to go back to the.
Okay, talk to folami@gmail.com. Yeah.
Talk to now.
Folami. Yeah.
Okay, let me just take it. Talk to 2 as in figure.
Yeah, 2 as in number 2. Number 2.
Talk to Folami.
Yes. At gmail.com.
Gmail.com. I don't want your phone number to become public, so that you don't.
No problem.
But at least, is this correct? Talk to Folami.
Yes.
Okay. So I just want to salute you. I want to say thank you so much for sharing, part of yourself tonight on leadership and execution, because this is a major area. Abiola Shoremeku is saying thank you so much. What you've shared here is priceless, because you've you've been an organization, that is been at the forefront of logistics for about 17 years. You worked in HR, you worked in operations, you're not in logistics. So you moved around, you've gotten the best awards, best staff in sub-Saharan Africa, if I'm correct.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And,
so
Middle East and North Africa.
And Middle East and West Africa. So I know that, you're still going to be showing up even in future. So for those of us that are, sharing the platform with you, at least when you get to the top, you remember us as well. Okay.
Yeah, definitely. So, thank you very much. It's a great privilege.
Yeah.
And thank you for the opportunity. Yeah.
Thank you. So once again, thank you everyone. Mary Ellen Nadi from Abuja, Abiola Shoremekun. These are my fellow John Maxwell team members. Odemi Olaiwole. I appreciate you guys and those that have also stayed with us thus far. Once again, on behalf of myself and my team, Leadership Talk with Adegoke. It's also on the podcast is on Apple, is on Spotify, is on Radio Public. It's so we're showing up big time. We're showing up. Where my mentor, John C. Maxwell, will say that we should become global leaders. You should play up, just show up all over the place, and that's what we're doing. So thank you, and have a wonderful Sunday evening to everyone. Thank you so much. God bless. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you.